What the mainstream media was afraid to tell you about the news this week. This week, while the mainstream media obsessed over Kellyanne Conway's marriage, which is none of their business, here are the things that happened that really matter. The newly elected San Francisco district attorney is the son of domestic terrorists. Chesa Boudin is his name. He is the son of Kathy Boudin and David Gilbert, both Weather Underground terrorists who were convicted of murder. Chesa Boudin was then raised after his parents went to prison by Bill Ayers and Bernardine Dorn, also domestic terrorists. What's even worse, while Boudin softly rejects his parents' terrorism, which is good, he seemingly adheres to the radical leftist ideology that motivated his parents, because he's promised that in San Francisco, while he is district attorney, quote, crimes such as public camping, offering or soliciting sex, public urination, blocking a sidewalk, etc. should not and will not be prosecuted, end quote. But did the mainstream media report this? Did the mainstream media report that not prosecuting these crimes and others are what led to 10,000 homeless people living in the streets of San Francisco, to car break-ins every 20 minutes, and public urination and defecation so widespread there are apps on your phone to track the public piles of poop? Nope. The mainstream media didn't say a word about it. 9-month-old baby girl Tinsley Lewis is set to be removed from life support in a Texas hospital on November 22nd against the wishes of her mother and family. The hospital invoked a Texas law called the 10-day rule, which allows them to terminate life support without the permission of the family. This little girl was born with incurable diseases, and the hospital claims that because her life comes with suffering, it's not worth living, and so they want to leave her to die. But did the mainstream media report on this gross violation of basic human rights? Nope. The mainstream media and the Democrats who claim that they care about babies outside the womb are silent. President Obama admitted that DACA was unconstitutional before he signed the order. Before it, on 3 different occasions, he admitted that he couldn't do it by himself. He couldn't bypass Congress. He could not unilaterally declare amnesty. And yet, he did it anyway. But did the mainstream media mention that critical fact during their coverage of the Supreme Court DACA arguments this week? No. The mainstream media is in the pocket of the left, and the left wants the Supreme Court to legislate from the bench so the Democrats in Congress don't have to compromise with Republicans in Congress. 3 witnesses have appeared before Congress so far in Adam Schiff's impeachment hearings: George Kent, Bill Taylor, and Marie Yovanovitch. None of the 3 had any firsthand knowledge of President Trump's phone call with Ukrainian President Zelensky. Nobody was on the call. Nobody talked to Trump about it. Nobody had any firsthand knowledge of why the aid was temporarily suspended. But did the mainstream media report these pretty important facts? Nope. The mainstream media ignored the truth. The executive director of CARE, Nihad Awad, who once said, quote, "I support the Hamas movement," proclaimed that he wants to elect 30 of his Muslim associates to Congress in the next years. Again, this is a man who supports Hamas, who founded the Council on American Islamic Relations, called CARE. CARE is an unindicted co-conspirator in the largest terror financing prosecution in U.S. history. The FBI cut ties with CARE because of their ties to terror. But did the mainstream media report on this? Nope. The mainstream media didn't say a word. The mainstream media doesn't care to report any of that to you, so we will. And that is my final point.